Red vs. Blue reactions are back. So not only will Kat be reacting to this, but Tat and Matt will be reacting to Red vs. Blue. But it's coming back and it's on patreon.com/allagesgeek. Reactions that are recorded on Patreon will eventually be uploaded to the channel months later. So yes, that means that you can get the reactions early on Patreon, months in advance. How many months? Yes.
Guys, they know how to leave off on fucking cliffhangers. No, here's the thing. The OP, we're gonna talk about this more when I just want to pay attention to this too. The OP in general also has, their concept art is amazing. Also has Salem hovering over Oscar, which could only potentially mean that Salem is going to be, in a way, a nightmare for Oscar. Like, in a way, by nightmare I mean a burden, something that's going to take over him. Something that, and I fear as if now that he is captured, because now that with with Ozpin and everything, Salem might have an advantage here. And she has Oscar, so that there's probably only a way that we could actually say that there's going to be a torture scene. So that's not going to be all right. All right, so let's pause here. All right, stop. Good. All right, good. Actually worked this time. Last time it didn't work. All right, here we go. All right. I'm in shock. I'm also potentially kind of like. I love that Grimm. I don't care what anyone says. Like, We're now, okay, so this is the second episode. And we already seen new Grimm. We've seen Grimm also interact with each other in a way we've never seen them before. But we'll talk all about the Grimm when we get to that point, so we have a bunch of points here. So point number one. Robin, Crow, Jacques, fuck off, and also Watts, all being captured, all being in the same room with each other. There was a weird dynamic to see, but it was like a very needed, much needed dynamic. I like with Robin, she's about to just destroy the fucking asshole, you know? And it's like with him, he's all like, oh, I did nothing wrong. Look at me, and then also Watts gets taken away like this. So I don't know what they're gonna be doing to Watts. I don't know if it's gonna be like a torture scene. I don't know if Watts actually potentially might be like, because they took him away. There might be something that's potentially going on here where they're taking him away to use him and utilize his skills. I feel as if a theory that I have, my pants are like, the fuck? I fear and feel as if Ironwood is now potentially going to use Watts' abilities for his own self-gain. Now, the reason I say this is because Ironwood's desperate, and we've seen in a lot of media, movies, everywhere, where it kind of shows us that basically when the character is desperate, they will sometimes go against their belief and their morals and take somebody who is like considered like an enemy to do like kind of in a way like a PI type work for them, like private investigator. So I'm wondering if he's going to be utilizing Watts' abilities just to try and find Team RWBY to stop all the shit that's going on. I think that's the direction we're going in, because again, like I said, Volume 7 focused heavily on Watts' backstory, but there's still more to tell with him, so that's something I am potentially looking forward to. Another thing too, which was really powerful to see within that scene, was Crow. Crow was saying, we can do something, we could kill the man that put us in here. Now think about that, they were friends. They were for the same cause. Crow and Ironwood have had a relationship as friends for so many years. So that was probably a lot for him to say. Again, Crow is irrational right now. Crow is upsetting. Like, I thought the whole time, like every single time, like Robin would say something, I thought she was blaming Crow, and I was like, son of a bitch. But then it would go to a different character. I'm like, yeah, oh my God, yes. Because again, when it comes to Robin and Crow, I'm wondering what the relationship's going to be like and how it's going to move forward from here. But the only thing too is when it comes to Watts, like I said, it's going to be interesting if Ironwood is using it. Because why Watts? Huh? Why did they take Watts? Why not somebody else? Huh? That's what I'm concerned about. Why not Crow? Why did you take Watts? I don't care if it's going to be a torture scene or not, but it's like Ironwood is definitely, at least what I'm thinking, going to be using Watts and his abilities. Now, also another thing, let's see, Ren's expressions. Now, if you start using, I can't speak, I cannot, analyzing, not using. If you start analyzing what Ren is basically kind of in a way like like doing and acting at certain scenes. Look at his gestures, look at his expressions. He looks sad. The boy looks fucking sad. And it's also because, here's the thing, him and Nora were inseparable. If you see from fucking volume 1, even in their backstory, they've been inseparable, and now because they disagree with each other, they're like apart with each other. I personally don't want them to break up. I will be devastated if they do. I think that that is not needed in the story to have Ren and Nora break up. If that happens, I'll be like, son of a bitch. But the thing is when it comes to Ren being upset, this is very, very important for us to see that he is starting to act on his own outside of just being beside Nora. And he's also still concerned. And the thing is, it's like they're giving their characters flaws in a moment, like when he couldn't focus. Like he was like, I just gotta focus. And he was kind of get like snippy with Jean, and Jean was kind of like, ooh, what's going on? So it's like, it's important for us to notice that Ren's expressions in this moment were just like, oh my God, because it's like, he's upset. There's a lot to handle. I mean, there's a war going on, an entire place could get destroyed. He's fighting with his girlfriend, like all this shit that's happening. It's like, this man is under a lot of stress, but it's also going to help him grow as the story goes on, and vice versa. It's also helping with Nora, with her to grow as well, because again, they've been inseparable and now they're separate. So obviously they're going to be very worried about what's going on, about each other. If, oh my God, they might potentially die and I'm not going to be there for them. But at the same time, it's also, you know, personal because their morals are shaken. But again, I don't want anything to happen to Ren and Nora because they just, like, in a way, it's like they got together, but we actually, like, 100% official when they actually did kiss and everything, and you were like, finally, yes. But I feel like, I feel like it would be much needed to explore the relationship more. I don't think I don't think they should break up. If they do, I will be devastated. Another thing too is, let's see. Oh, Ozpin. Ozpin said, I'm sorry. And Oscar was like, I'm not upset because, you know, you came back. I'm upset because, no, I'm not upset because you left. I'm upset because you came back. And the reason is because Oscar just wants to feel like he's part of the team, but Oscar also wants to find his place within that team. Oscar doesn't want to be blamed for Ozpin. Oscar wants to be able to do his own thing with the team, but also he doesn't want this life, and that's forced upon him. So hearing Oz's voice again and seeing what he's saying, I mean, you feel like this man is tired. Another thing too is their souls are slowly starting to become one, but there's still a lot of work to do, and Oscar doesn't want that. Oscar wants to be part of this team and serve as Oscar, not as carrying out Ozpin or Ozma or anything. He doesn't want this. This is not the lifestyle that he has suited for him. Let's see what else. We also have point 10. Penny is sad because of the fact that it's not just, you know, Yang and everyone's fighting. It's also the fact that Winter and the Aesops. And she said, I don't like when friends fight. And that was such a, like, a wholesome scene between the two of them because, you know, they are such good friends. They support one another. But, like, with Winter, I mean, I'm wondering if, because I just recently replied to a comment on YouTube, which was, they were saying, you know, that what's upsetting to them is Winter and the Aesops are still following Ironwood. And with me, I was like, what I said is, like, I can actually see something happening where they start seeing that Ironwood has gone too far. I feel like the Aesops might, in a way, leave him. I would say betray, but it's not really betrayal. It is betrayal to him, but like betrayal as in like they're going for the good morals of life. But I feel like Winter would be like the last person to leave Ironwood's side. Because again, it's hard when you see somebody that you love and care about and who has given you a life act the way they do. You're kind of like, you don't want to leave, but at the same time, your morals have to line up. And if they don't, then it's just like, why are you even doing this? So I'm like, when it comes to Winter and everything, I'm wondering how much of a development we're going to see. I mean, in the OP, we see her hair change, her outfit change. So I definitely think they're going to be fighting side, like two sisters are going to be fighting. I mean, that's the same thing with the sibling thing here. I potentially like how RWBY and Yang are fighting. If you don't have siblings, you won't understand this. Siblings fight. Fucking siblings fight. If you don't have siblings, then you're not, again, it's like some people will get mad at the fact that they are like fighting and they're probably like, why are they doing this? But here's the thing. If you don't have siblings, you won't understand it because it's like you have to be able to have it and experience it in order to 100% understand it. I have two siblings, okay? I have two sisters. I'm the eldest of two, okay? Of three, not two, of three. So to give an example, as you guys know Tat, I'll use that as an example because you know her. You don't know Anya, but you know Tat. With me and Tat, we sometimes take each other's heads off. Sometimes we extremely disagree about a lot of things, not just business with all ages of geek, but a lot of other things. We literally attack each other. We say very bad things to each other, even over text messages. I can tell you there was one fight where we stopped talking for almost a good week, but then we get over it. Siblings fight. For them to be able to explore this and to not give them the happy-go-lucky relationship that Yang and RWBY do have is a smart move in my general opinion. And the reason is because it's allowing these characters, again, same thing with Nora and Ren, to separate, to disband with each other and explore their originalities, not dependent on a sibling and not dependent on a relationship. It is separating them so then they can go explore. So how they are handling their fight is very natural, because if you notice, it's like they're not, me and Tech are like this too, where it's like they're not necessarily screaming at each other. Like RWBY got a tone with Yang, but they're not necessarily screaming at each other. How they're handling this is it's kind of like, like that's the best I can explain it. Like they're kind of like impatient with each other. It's like, I understand your side, you understand mine, but And the thing is with that is that's how siblings also fight. We don't need some kind of dramatic extreme fight with them. We don't need some kind of like them to make up and everything's gonna be a-okay. Things happen. It's natural. That's what siblings do. And going forward with this, I want to see that, how they grow from this and how they, resolve these issues that they have with each other. Will it happen? Probably, because they're Team RWBY. But at the same time, what did they say earlier on? I forgot what volume was. I think, was it Ozpin? Somebody did say that, like they are together right now. The team is right now, but then you may go your separate ways. We don't know if Team RWBY's always going to be Team RWBY. We don't know what it's, again, they're still young adults. We don't know what's going to happen to them in 10, 20, 30 years. We don't know that yet. They might all go their separate ways. To give an example, to give a good writing example, this is something I like, but it has to be done right, because then if it's not done right, it can be lazy writing. The Sandlot ending technique. If you've seen the movie The Sandlot, please tell me you have. If you haven't, watch it now. The movie The Sandlot, how the movie does end is it goes, this person ended up here. This person ended up dying. This person ended up having children. So it takes your characters, and then you have a narrator, whoever may that narrator may be, says, this character ended up here and here and here. So it's up to you in your mind to fill in the blanks. The Sandlot, technique can be done properly even in media such as RWBY. So if they end up ending RWBY within the next few volumes and they don't have a extreme ending where it's it's not going to be able to be told within those 2-3 volumes, then it's going to be okay, it's the Sandlot ending. RWBY ended up here. Yang ended up here. So we don't know. We do not know what they have planned. And the thing is, the beauty of that is right now it's starting to shape that. You don't need the team to be together forever. That's not how life tends to work sometimes, especially when you're that age. If they were in their 20s, 30s, 40s, it would make more sense. But because they are still young adults, things are gonna change. You think I'm the same person that I was even in my goddamn early 20s? Hell no! You've seen me change on YouTube. People change, and we gotta allow these characters to grow. And everyone's opinion is valid about this, even if you disagree with me. It's we don't know what's gonna go from here when it comes to even RWBY and Yang's relationship. Obviously, they're probably gonna make up. I don't think they're gonna have a huge falling out. That's not how the relationship works. But what I'm getting at here is that it's important for us to absorb this, respect it, and see how it goes from here. Because the worst thing anyone could do is say, this is shit, I'm dropping it, without seeing the entire series through. Usually with me, when I go into a new anime, especially, is I give it 3 episodes, because usually within the first 2, first it's the character and setting. The second one is, okay, the build up for what the story is going to be at. And the third one is, okay, we're actually in the plot. Usually that's the way anime works. Unless it's a gem of an anime that you will just get sold on, which is Kids on a Slope. Please watch it. Please. I want to know your guys' reactions to it. Because it is honestly one of the best directed anime out there. But enough about that. Let's move on, because I could talk about this for hours. I'm probably going to do it on the Tooncasters with Matt and Tat to talk about how to actually write very good siblings. Because another thing too is you could consider a lot of your friends siblings. So even if you don't have siblings, like like relatives, like me and Tad are, you could also have friend siblings, like people that like you've grown up with and consider brothers or sisters, you know? So anyway, moving forward from here, because I gotta talk about this for hours. Another thing too is they're separating everyone from each sector into different shelters. What I like about this is that they are bonding with the faunus. The faunus and the humans are coming together, and that's also another bridge way to say, hey, you know, things are going to work out between the humans and faunus. This could potentially help that relationship, because as of right now, they are going against fucking Ironwood, and it's scary, and they're going to need all the manpower that they could get. Also, the thing is too, the Grimm. Now, I want to talk about this Grimm for a very long time, and I'll definitely probably talk more on the Tooncasters. The Grimm in general, if you saw how they ran away, how they were reacting to that, I think it was very interesting to note that now I think it is time for us to explore the different types of Grimm that could potentially become even more knowledgeable. The way this Grimm was moving, the way this Grimm was acting, the way this Grimm was acting as if it was like, I'm going to take Oscar, I'm going to use him as a shield, it was a very intelligent Grimm. It was in a way, it was as if it was bred to actually fight and also understand humans. Not only did it fucking talk, what we have to worry about, which is also going down the line of My Hero Academia with the Nomu. So there's that. The thing is too, is like not only could it talk, but it is using things as shields. Now, here's the thing. Like I always say, you're writing your own story, write your own creatures like that. You know, don't ever be afraid that even if you are writing a story that is like RWBY or even common like that, it's like, that's fine. You know, as long as like, even with fan fiction, you just gotta do it right. But outside of fan fiction, I'm talking about actually writing novels. Like, again, this Grimm is very similar to how the Nomu is from My Hero Academia. Now, the thing is too with that is like, you could see similarities, but it's not the same, so that's okay. Everybody's story is completely different, but the thing is too is it fucking talks, all right? It fucking talks, and that means that we're gonna have a goddamn issue going forward because it just kidnapped Oscar. So now Salem, being the fucking queen that she is creating Grimm that could potentially be knowledgeable enough to fight this war for her. She don't gotta do nothing. She could just sit back and relax and watch Atlas fall. She could just literally be up there and do nothing, and it's fine. How the hell they're gonna handle this, I don't know. Is it gonna get dark? Yes. Is it probably potentially gonna get even darker with each episode? Probably. Probably midway, we're gonna see something even darker happen because this OP is not fun and dandy. It's not showing us how great, like, it's like, yeah, great. It's like, no, this is, the team is divided, okay? Not only is the team divided, but there are new Grimm and there's new shit going on that is fucking crazy. So I would like to know, what are your guys' thoughts on this? What are some theories that you guys do have? As you guys do know, for the Tooncasters podcast, we definitely will be talking about, god damn it, a lot of theories and everything going forward as RWBY does actually move forward. But anyway, friends, I hope you have an amazing day. You stay weird, you stay wonderful, you stay awesome. Until the next video, be sure to figure fanboy or fan person every single day. Bye, guys. So Ironwood suddenly just shoots somebody, like, what the, point blank shooting somebody, and you're all like, what the fuck?
Join us for RWBY reactions. Get RWBY Volume 8 reactions early on our Patreon. Also be invited on the Tooncasters podcast to talk about RWBY with Matt, Tat, and Kat. Visit us and find things all RWBY at patreon.com/allagesofgeek.